But we're just going to be doing some basic ball handling today. So have you all got your balls? Yeah, we'll start with some basic handling, and then at the end we'll progress, maybe if we've got time, onto a few more difficult things. Yeah, make sure you keep yourselves on mute, girls. If you've got any questions or any problems, just write them in the chats. Yeah, but keep your microphone on mute so everyone can hear, okay? Okay, I think we'll get started so we don't run out of time. So I'm gonna stay like kneeling down because so you can all see me, but you can all stand up. Yeah, and make sure you've got enough space around you. So before we start, we'll just go over how to make sure you're correctly holding the ball. Yeah, I'm sure some of you probably know that already, but we'll just go over it for everyone. So when we're working with the ball, we want to try and keep our arms nice and straight the whole time. And the ball in your hand, you want to have it just resting in your hand with your fingers slightly separated, okay? So we're not gripping the ball like this, we're never gripping the ball, and you don't want to ever let the ball touch your wrist like this. Yeah, so your palm's always up to the ceiling and the ball's just resting in your hands. We're not having any claws. Okay, so for the first thing, we can have a nice free arm out to the side and your arm straight in front of you, and we're going to rotate the ball around your hands. So your hand is going to go around the ball like this and back into your palm. So let's go 20 times, try 20 times going outwards and then 20 times going inwards. So you can go both ways. So let's go 20 times on your right hand both ways and then try 20 times on your left hand both ways. Yeah, because it's really important that you work everything with both hands. You need to be confident with the ball in both hands. That's good. Good try, girls. Yeah, you want to be nice and soft with your ball and be really patient with it. Don't try and rush the movements because then that's when it's going to roll off somewhere. So make sure you try some in your left hand as well. If you're feeling confident with that, then you can try exactly the same thing, but you're going to go round 2 times. So your hand goes round 2 times. It's a bit more difficult, but it's going to help you get good control of your ball. So nice fast movements, 2 times, hand goes around the ball. And make sure you try in your left hand as well. Ooh. Let's see how you're getting on. Yeah, that's good, girls. Keep trying. Yeah, try not to throw the ball. You want to try and keep it in contact with your hands the whole time when it's going around. So it's not really coming away from my hands. It's staying in contact with the ball the whole time. Okay, let's move on to the next thing. So the next thing is going to look quite simple, but it's actually quite difficult thing when you try it. And it's all about getting good control of your ball. So you're going to keep your arm nice and straight in front of you. And what you're going to do is do a really small toss and catch it on the back of your hands and then back again. So you want to spread your fingers wide and try and arch your fingers. And you're going to do a small toss, try and hold the ball for a second and then back. Yeah, we're not slapping the ball like this. I shouldn't hear any sounds. It's just try and catch the ball on the back of your hands and back again. Catch the ball, back again. Try this 10 times on your right hand and then the same 10 times on your left. It's going to be much easier the more you can arch your fingers like this. And try and keep your arms nice and straight when you're doing it. Don't let your arms bend. Nice, girls, good job. Make sure you're doing both, trying it on both hands again. Yeah, this is good work. Okay, let's move on so we have time to fit everything. So next, we're going to, keeping your arms really straight in front of you, you're just going to toss it from one hand to the other. But again, you shouldn't hear any slapping noises like this. Obviously, you're on mute, so I can't hear you, but you shouldn't hear any sounds when you're doing this. It should be nice and soft. You need to cushion the ball. Yes, when you catch, you want to bring your arm down a bit. If you just keep your arm there, you're gonna drop the ball. So when you catch it, just cushion the ball down. And if you look at my arms, you can see they're not bending at all. They're staying completely straight. So just do this 20 times. That should be nice and easy. Keep your arms directly in front of you, 20 times, tossing the ball back and forth. And when you're catching it, try not to do any gripping of the ball again. So it's a straight line from your shoulder all the way to your fingertips, nice and straight. Yeah, that we're not gripping the ball at all. We're not bending the wrists. When we've done this 20 times, now we're going to try exactly the same thing, kind of, except we're going to go from side to side. So have your arms out to the side, completely straight. And from here, you're going to toss over your head from one hand to the other. But you really have to throw it in the exact place so you get a good trajectory, because as you can see, my arms aren't bending at all. If you throw it too short, you're going to have to bend your arms. So keeping your arms completely straight, throw it exactly from one hand to the other. Try this 20 times as well. And I don't want to see any bent arms. Try and keep your arms nice and straight. Again, remember to cushion your ball nicely when you catch it so it doesn't just fall off. Keep those arms straight, girls. If you're having to bend your arm, try and push it over a bit further, the ball. Or if it's going too far, push it a bit less. Yeah, this is nice. I'm seeing a few bent arms still. Try and keep them straight. And make sure it's going right over your head, like a rainbow. Good try, girls. Okay, let's move on. So next, we're going to start with the ball behind your back. And you're going to toss it over your head and try and catch. When we're catching the ball, we really want to try and focus on catching it in one hand, yeah? We don't want to be catching the ball in two hands. It's really much easier if you learn from when you're young and when you start using ball to catch it in one hand. You don't want to get in the habit of catching the ball in two hands. It's really difficult to try and then learn to catch in one hand. So you're going to ball behind your back and you're just going to use your fingers, if I show you from behind, use your fingers to push the ball over your head, and you're going to catch it with a nice straight arm in front of you, just like we've practiced. Now catching with a straight arm and cushioning that ball again. So you can do it, stay standing up, push it over your head and try and catch. Make sure it's a straight arm. Over your head, catch. If you're doing this and this is really easy for you, you can try exactly the same thing, but tossing it with one hand. If you want to keep going with two hands, that's fine. If you want a bit more of a challenge, try doing the same thing, just with one hand over your head and catching, not like that. So over your head and catch with one hand. And again, then make sure you do the same on the left hand as well. That's it. When you're doing it, girls, try and keep your body still. You don't need to be moving your body forwards like this. You can just keep upright with your body and push the ball over your head. You shouldn't have to move your chest anywhere. Good. I'm seeing some really good attempts here. Oh, I see a few of you trying with one hand. That's really good. Keep your chest upright. If you're trying it with one hand, girls, don't bend your elbow. Yeah, you can do it with your elbow straight. Keep your arm nice and straight. And, oops, yeah, keep the arm straight when you're throwing it. Don't bend your elbow. Let's have a few more attempts of this. If there's some things, girls, that you like today that you can't quite do yet, make sure you write them down after so you can remember, and then you can keep working on them on your own. Yeah, it doesn't matter if you can't do something right now or you haven't got the hang of it quite yet, that's fine. Just write it down so you remember it, and then you can work on it in your own time. Okay, now everyone, let's get down on the floor, get on your knees. And we're going to do some figure of eights. Some of you, I'm sure most of you have probably done it before, but it's a bit easier on your knees because it's easier to balance. So when we're doing this figure of eight, we're going in and in a big circle back. Now on this movement, it's really important about how you're holding the ball. We're not gripping like this and we're not gripping like this. Yeah, it's really easy on this move to hold the ball incorrectly. So really focus on how you actually hold the ball. We want to make the movement as big as possible, but you're going to keep your palm, the palm of your hand, facing the ceiling all the time. It's really important. So we're going to start with our free arm out to the side, well, both arms out to the side. Nice and stretched, nice start position. First, you're going to bring your arm in front of you and circle it in towards your stomach. Then you're going to put your left, if it's in the right hand, you're going to put your left hand on the floor. If it's in your left, the opposite. And you're going to put your right leg out to the side. Then you're going to stretch your arm in front of you and you're going to do a big circle all the way around and finish. Now, it's important when you do the big circle around that your arm is staying parallel to the floor the whole time. So if this is the floor, this is your arm. Yeah, they're not like this and they're not like this. Yeah, you're not too high and you're not taking your arm back too low. You want to keep it parallel with the floor all the way around and finish. And again, keeping your palm of your hand up to the ceiling all the time without gripping the ball. Let's try this. Make sure you try on the left hand as well. Let's try 5 times on your right hand, 5 times on your left hand. Don't grip that ball. We're not allowed to have claws like this. It has to be nice and soft in your palm. And always start and finish it nicely. Make it look nice. Good job. You don't always have to do this on the floor. It's just a bit easier to stay balanced if you do it on the floor. Good effort. Yeah, make sure you're keeping your arm low down. Don't keep it lifted too high because that's when the ball is gonna fall off. And on this circle, keep the arm nice and straight. You shouldn't have a bent arm on these movements. And try and make the movement as big as possible. The bigger, the better. Good effort, girls. Okay, once you've done this, then we can try the same, but in the opposite direction. So this time, we're going to start with the big circle around. And then when your arm gets to the front of you, then you're going to circle it in and finish. So it's the opposite way that we just went. But still remembering the same things that we just talked about. Keep the arm parallel on the circle round and always keep your palm up to the ceiling. And always finish it nicely. Show off your work. Good job. This is a really nice move to have. You can It's really easy to include it in your dance steps, put it on some of your dance steps in your routines. So it's a good thing to practice. Just make sure you're not gripping the ball when you're doing it. A challenge that maybe you can try in your own time is doing it with your hand completely flat like this. That's going to really help you to make sure that you're doing it with your palm up to the ceiling the whole time. Yeah, and you really can't grip it if you're keeping a hand flat like this. Let's have a few more attempts on this. Make sure you're doing both hands. Yeah, have a few more attempts each way. Make the circle nice and big, girls. You want to reach from the front to the side, all the way to the back, all the way to the other side, forwards. Yeah, you want to make that circle as big as possible. Okay, good job. Let's move on. So now we're going to move on to some rolls. So we'll start with just the most basic one. We're going to start with the arm in front of you, free arm to the side. You're going to roll it up to your chest, twist your shoulders and roll it down the other arm. So when you're doing your rolls, girls, it's really important that when you start your roll, your arm is a little bit higher than 90 degrees and you're just going to use your fingers to push the ball. We're not bending the wrist, we're not bending the elbows, it's just your fingers push the ball. Then when it gets to your chest, you need to keep your chest nice and open because the ball needs to roll across the chest as well as the arms. And then when it's coming down the second arm, your arm needs to be pointing down a little bit. And as it gets to your hand, you need to lift so it doesn't roll off. So from the front to the front. And you can make this simple roll look even nicer by including your free arm, a wave with your free arm. Yes, even though it's simple, it doesn't have to look simple. You can make it look nice. And with all the rolls we're going to do, there shouldn't be any bouncing like this. The roll should be really smooth. So really twist your shoulders and make it a nice, smooth roll. If you're finding it easy, girls, try and include the nice free arm with the wave. I'm seeing some really good attempts at the roll. Try and make so when it gets to your chest, then you can wave back with the free arm. Yeah, it's just going to make it look a little bit nicer. Okay, good job. Make sure you're keeping your chest open. If you close your shoulders, it's not going to be able to roll across your chest. Keep your chest and your shoulders open the whole time. It's really important on these rolls, guys, that you're being patient and waiting for your ball to get to your hand. Don't rush and try and catch a ball earlier than you need to. Wait for it to get to your hand. Okay, next. We're going to do the same, but the ball's going to roll from one hand and down to the other hand, keeping your arms exactly at the side. If you're really struggling with this, a really good way to learn it is to go against the wall. So put your back against the wall and your arms against the wall and roll the ball from one hand to the other. So you want to keep your arms exactly to the side and your hands facing up, and you're going to roll, not like that, from one hand to the other hand. I'm clearly out of practice a little bit, like this. Okay, and it should be a nice smooth roll. So from the right hand to the left, left hand to the right. Keep your arms, don't take your arms forward, don't take your arms back, don't turn them like this. Just keep them like this, push with your fingers and be patient and wait for the ball to reach your hand. And then same again, lift at the end so it doesn't roll off. Keep the arms nice and straight. Yes, so my arms are staying at the side the whole time. Don't let them drop, just keep them still. yeah, you can even try, if you're another way to progress the roll, is to try first stopping it at your head, your neck, and then splitting it in two. Yeah, you don't need to move your body anywhere. You just need to put your head forward a little bit like this. Don't hunch forwards like that. Just put your head forward a bit and it will roll all the way across. Good, I'm seeing some really good attempts. Just make sure your arms are staying straight. And you're keeping them exactly at the side. Good try. Yeah, don't rush to try and catch that ball. Be patient, wait for it to come to your hand and then finish. Okay, after this we can try the same thing, but the ball's going to go across your chest. So instead of putting your head forward this time, you're going to put your chin a little bit back and really open your chest out and go across the front. I think this one's a little bit easier than across the back. Across the front. Good. So keep your arms straight and keep your chest nice and open. You don't need to arch back too far. Just put your neck and your head back a little bit. Keep your arms nice and strong and straight. You don't need to bend them at all. And you can do the same against the wall. So this time you'd face the wall, but put your hands on the wall. And it's a really nice way to learn how to do this roll, keeping your arms at the side. Okay, let's move on to the next thing so we don't run out of time. Next, we're going to do another long roll. So we're going to start with your arm up this time. And you're going to have your arms open, push it down, and roll down from one hand to the other. So the hand starts up and rolls down. The same again, you want to keep your chest nice and open and keep your arms wide. You just need to put your head back a little bit, like this, and it should roll down nicely from one hand to the other hand. Yeah, don't close your shoulders in at all. Yeah, you want to keep your chest open so it's got a nice smooth path to go down, the ball does. And the same thing again, when it comes to the second hand, lift up to finish so it doesn't fall off. Yeah, if you leave your arm down, the ball, you're either going to have to catch it like this, gripping the ball, or it's just going to roll straight off, which is definitely not what we want. Yeah, good job, girls. I'm seeing some nice ones. Good. Okay, let's move on again. So next, we're going to start with the hands in front of you. You're going to lean forwards, let the ball roll down your back, and then stay forward and push it back up to your hands. So you don't want to be too upright because the ball is just going to roll straight off. Lean forwards a little bit so it's got a nice slope to go down and you have enough time to get your hands back. Then from the reverse way, you want to push the ball from the bottom of your back. I see a lot of people when they try this, they try and use their hands to push the ball all the way up your back, but then you don't have enough time to get your hands to here. So try and push the ball with your fingers right from the bottom of your back, then you've got plenty of time to get your arms up by your ears to catch. And again, it's really important on this one that you don't try and sit up too soon. Just stay down until the ball gets to your hands, and then you can sit up again. And keep your arms straight and together for the catch. Otherwise, it's gonna fall through this gap here. Keep your arms straight and close together. If you're finding this really easy, some of you, if you're able to do it, you can try rolling down to your neck. When it gets to your neck, you're going to link your fingers behind your back and then roll it down your hands. Oops. Right, again. Roll it down to your neck, to your hands, and you're going to flick it over your head and catch. Yeah, that's a bit of a challenge if you're finding that one easy. If not, just carry on with what you're doing. So stop it at your neck, put your hands together, and then push over your head. Try and catch in one hand. So hold your hands together and squeeze your arms together, and then the ball won't fall through. Make sure you're always rolling with straight arms, girls. You don't want to see any bent arms. Make sure your rolls are always nice and smooth. You don't want to see any bouncing when you're going along. Good job, girls. Okay, I'm gonna have to stand up for this one. So next, we're gonna try similar to those long rolls we were doing along our, but this time, when it gets to your neck, you're going to turn this way and put both arms by your ears. So it's kind of a combination of that one, the last one we just did, and long rolls we were doing earlier. So from here, so you're going to start with it in one arm. When it gets to your neck, put two arms by your ears and finish with it in two hands. Yeah, so start in one hand, arms to the side, and finish in two hands. So you want to do a quarter turn. When it gets to your neck, do a quarter turn and finish with it in both hands. Yeah, does everyone understand? Yeah, you need to really quickly from here, get two hands by your ears. So from here, really quickly change so that you've got two hands by your ears, so you can finish the roll. Good job. Again, keeping those nice straight arms. We don't want to see any bent arms. Good job, girls. Good effort. Make sure you try from the other way as well. So start in your left hand and finish with both hands. Okay, let's try another one. So these last two are a bit more difficult. So like you said earlier, if you like them, just write them down and you can work on them in your own time because obviously we're still unfortunately not in the gym. So next, we're going to start, let me move my camera up a bit so you can see me. So we're going to start like this roll that we were doing earlier, but it's going to, when it gets to your chest, it's going to go under your armpit and you're going to catch it with the same hand that you just rolled it from, and that hand's going to be behind your back. So it comes to your chest, you let it go under your arm and you catch it behind your back. So like this, and then you circle round to finish. So from your right hand to your right hand, finish. So you can break it down slowly. So stop it with your left hand back at your chest. Then you can keep it there and try and catch it in your right. When it gets to your chest, you need to arch, lean backwards a little bit and move your body to control the ball. A really important thing with ball is being able to feel where the ball is going. Obviously, it's quite difficult apparatus because it can roll, so it's really important that you're able to feel what the ball is doing and where it's going, and be able to control it not just with your hands, but with the rest of your body. Okay, have a few more tries of this. So do you want me to show again? So start in your right hand, you roll it to your chest, the ball's going to go under your left arm, you're going to quickly put your right hand behind your back and catch. So, yeah, I'm seeing some good attempts. Don't push the ball too fast. You don't need to be pushing the ball so fast. It's going to make it even more difficult. Just a slow roll. It doesn't have to be too fast. The good thing about ball is that the more you play around with it, you can make lots of cool rolls up yourself. So try and think in your free time, if you're playing with apparatus, try and think of some cool rolls that you can come up with, because they're really nice to add into your routine. Okay, let's have 5 more attempts of this one and then we'll move on. I think we'll have time for one more roll. Yeah, we'll have time for one more roll now. Okay, so this time we're going to be lying on the floor. This is the last one. We're going to start lying on the floor, on our bellies. Ball in your hands. The first thing you're going to do is roll the ball down to your feet. Yeah, stop it in your feet. Then, for a good challenge, when it's in your feet, you're going to push it. So flick your legs a little bit and try and get it to roll back up to your hands. So keep your arms nice and straight. Roll it down. You can use your arms at the side of your body to help control the ball. And then from here, flick it back up. So you want a nice smooth roll. As soon as your ball has passed your shoulders on the way down, put them on the side of your body. And if it starts to roll off the side, you can just push it back onto your legs. Be a bit sneaky, pretend like nothing happened. And then don't push it too hard when it's in your feet. You need to figure out like the perfect amount of force to use, but you don't need to push it so hard. Just up to your hands. Not bad. There we go. Finish it nicely. Don't just try and place the ball on the back of your legs. You want to try and flick it a little bit. So you want to try and toss it a little bit with your legs. But still keep the ball in contact with your body. So it's a nice smooth roll. Okay, let's have a few more attempts before we finish off. It's gone so quickly. I'm seeing some really good attempts. Good job, girls. So this one, from your feet up to your hands, that's something maybe that you can work on in your own time after the session. Okay, I think that's all we have time for today. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope you're able to take something home from the session. Like I said, if there was something you liked and you want to keep working on, just write it down so you can work on it in your own time. And then hopefully very soon, we'll be able to get back into our own gyms, and you can maybe put some other stuff in your routines that you've learned. Yeah, and just keep playing with your apparatus on your own. It's really good to play. Sometimes you can create cool things just by playing and making a mistake, and it actually turns into something cool. So it's really good to play with your apparatus on your own. And that's everything for today. So I hope you enjoyed.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Keep working hard in your home training and your outdoor training if you're doing it. And hopefully we'll be back in the gym.
Bye.
Bye.